Let's get straight to it. 2007 Hyundai Sonata. This is the 3.3 V6 engine. So you would see that 3 of the O2 sensors are identical. They're the exact same. And then there's one that is a little bit longer. Everything else about these are the same. It has the same harness and the same O2 sensor, but the wire on the downstream rear is about 2 times, maybe 3 times longer. And this is the part number for the downstream rear, and this is the part number for the other 3. They're all the exact same part number, as you'll see, because they're all the same sensor. So the upstream rear, the upstream front, and the downstream front are all the same, and the downstream rear is going to be different. So if you're looking from the front, the upstream front is right there. That is your first cylinder on the front side. This is also known as your bank 2 as well. And the one on the same line on the bottom behind the cat, that is going to be your downstream front. And the upstream rear is located in the back right there. You can see it right there, and the harness for it goes right here. So these are all the ones with the short wire. So this is the upstream rear, this is the upstream front, and the one right underneath this one, the downstream front, is going to be a short one as well. And as a matter of fact, we can see it from here as well. It's right down there. You can see it there, and the harness for it comes right there. So you can see that's a short harness as well. All right, so this is the one that's in the front with the short wire, and because it's in the front, it's going to be of course the one that's labeled front. The main name for this one will be your bank 2 downstream number 2 O2 sensor. So this is the one that's downstream in the front. So this also has a short cord, just like the 2 up top. So now that I'm underneath the vehicle, the one with the longer wire, and yes, there's an oil leak on here, I'm fixing that as well. But for now, the one with the longer wire goes here. So this is the lower rear here. So this will also be known as your bank 1 sensor 2, because this is the one that is after the cat. So again, this is the one with the longest cord, the only one with the long cord. So it's easy to remember which one goes here. The easiest way to remember this is basically this one here is the one that goes on the bottom rear, and everything else goes everywhere else. All right, so for both the ones in the back, the harnesses are right here in the back. So you have one harness here and another one here. So you can see this harness is attached to the one that's right there. That is the last one with the short wire. So we have a short wire one here and a long wire one. So the long wire one is this one here, the one that goes all the way down to the bottom. Nothing hard about these. The safety clips are already pulled back on this for some reason, but you pull these safety clips back, you press these tabs down, and you pull the harness out. This one here, which is located right there on the back side, so that's the hardest one, believe it or not. So let's get that one out. All right, so this one is the hardest one because you really can't get any tools to pass this heat shield right here. So we're gonna have to remove this heat shield, and that's what's gonna suck about this. So there's 4 bolts to remove this heat shield. There's one here, there's one here, and then there's 2 at the bottom, one here and one here. So I'm gonna soak all 4 of these bolts in penetrating oil, and I'm going to come back in about an hour or 2 and get these out. So if you look right here where your oil drain bolt is, there's an opening right here. You can actually take your wrench and reach through that opening and up through there, and you can be able to reach all of your bolts real easily. So I can reach that bolt there, I can reach this bolt over here, this bolt down here, and this bolt right here. So if you find it hard to reach up in here, like I said, put your arm through here where this oil drain bolt is, and then you should be able to go up through here and reach all your bolts. So that should make it easier. Hope that helps for you. All right, so you can see right here, I have the shield off. I set the shield to the side over there. You can see it right here. And now I can get to this with no problem. All right, so I'm using this offset special tool here for this O2 sensor. That way I can use my extension. So I just have an extension on there with a breaker bar. So it's not hitting against any of these plastic pieces that's on this intake manifold. So I don't have to worry about cracking anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this broken off now. All right, so you know this is a real video because I'm having a hard time getting this off. So there's two things that I've done so far to prepare me for getting this out the hard way. So far I sprayed this down with penetrating oil. You can see how wet this is around here. And also I cut the wires, and this is so I can get a 22mm socket down on here. You can also use a 7/8 socket. That way I can get this out easier without it slipping, because the tools that I have, the specialty tools, they're good, but when you need to put a lot of torque on there, they tend to slip. Because as you can see with these tools, they don't go around the whole way. And so they're only good for O2 sensors that aren't really stuck. So when you have one like this, so the thing about putting the socket on there is once you make that commitment, there's no going back. So be sure that you can get that O2 sensor out. I'm gonna put this 22mm socket on there now. So this is my final setup. I have my 22mm socket directly on that O2 sensor, and I have a 3/4. I have a 1/2 inch extension going up with another extension, and of course I have my breaker bar right at the top. So now I can get the torque I need on this to get this out. All right, so this is it. This was the problem. This was the guy that was the most problem right here. So this was the one, like I said, that came right off the back here. So you should see the hole for it down there now. So you can see the hole right there where this used to be. So now it's time to put our new one in. So there goes our new O2 sensor right there. It's not all the way torqued down yet. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish getting this tightened up, and then we'll be back. All right, so it's all the way down now. Now I can go back underneath and put my shield back over this. See those 4 bolts I have to put back in. So I'm gonna put the shield back on from underneath, and then I should be done with this. And there it is, folks. I have this shield back on. All my bolts are in place, and I have my harness connected too as well. So that's pretty much it for the O2 sensor here in the back.